It's crunch time for UNC Pembroke women's basketball. With 2 games left in the season, a top 2 seed in the Peach Belt Conference's East Division is within reach. We'll talk to head coach Coach Haskins in a moment. On the men's side, the Braves remain in contention for the top spot in the division. The Black and Gold play at Flagler today, and we'll talk to head coach Ben Miller later in the show. UNC Pembroke softball swept a home doubleheader against Barton last weekend, winning both by a 13-0 score. Pitcher Abby Walters threw a no-hitter in the first game. The Braves return to LRA Field tomorrow to host Elizabeth City State at noon. On the baseball diamond, UNCP swept last weekend's opponent Concord, scoring a combined 44 runs in 3 games. Head coach Paul O'Neill collected his 600th win as a manager in Game 1 of the series. More home games this weekend as UNCP hosts St. Rose for a doubleheader today at 11 a.m. Women's golf was off last week and will be back in action Monday at the Lady Mock Golf Classic in Florida. Track and field competed at the JDL College Team Challenge and Liberty Elite Invitational last week. The Braves broke 2 school records, Andrea Garcia in the weight throw and Leah Tardanico in the mile run. Track and field competes in Chapel Hill tomorrow at the Kent Taylor Invite. The UNCP wrestling team earned a pair of conference wins over Coker and Newberry last week. With the regular season in the rear view, next up is the Midwest Super Regionals on February 24th. The Black and Gold Report starts now. Welcome to another episode of the Black and Gold Report presented by Pepsi, a show all about UNC Pembroke athletics. I'm Cameron Songer, and today we check in with UNCP basketball as the regular season approaches its conclusion. It's my pleasure to be joined in studio now by women's basketball head coach Coach Haskins. Coach, thanks for being here.
Good to be here, Cameron.
It's been a little while since we've had you on the show. Your team has gone 3-3 since we last had you on, losing all 3 on the road, winning all 3 at home. What has your team shown you in this recent spell of games?
Well, I think we had a stretch where we didn't really play very well, particularly shooting the basketball, and so that kind of hurt us, particularly on the road. We had some poor shooting games at Francis Marion. We had a poor second quarter at Augusta, and those make the difference in the games. And then at Lander, they're just a very good team, and they kind of blitzed us. But so, you know, putting the ball in the basket's an important part of the game, and it's something that we've got to do better, particularly as we go on the road.
A big part of your team's success has been junior guard Brianna Bayham, who scored in double figures in all 6 of those recent games, including a career-high 28 at Augusta. What aspects of her game have improved the most over the course of the season?
Well, I think she's getting adjusted to what we do, number one, and then confidence level also. I thought as she came in, she really struggled to catch on to what we're doing and just didn't play with much confidence. And we eventually asserted her to the starting lineup, and I thought she got more and more confident. She's very assertive offensively, can put the ball on the deck, can shoot the 3. I wish she'd shoot the 3 more. I get on all the time about shooting the ball. I think she passes up some open looks, but can really attack the basket, gets to the free throw line. Was a great scorer in junior college, and just feel like she's kind of, you know, getting a feel for what we're doing to get more comfortable.
Bayham was a member of your most recent signing class that included a couple junior college transfers, also including Nyla Allen, Blair Silliman, and Brandy Robinson. How difficult is it to bring those players into the fold, bring them up to speed on what you're trying to do compared to, say, someone who just signed right out of high school?
Well, I think the first thing is they're used to some things on the college level. They're used to a higher level of competition. They're used to fighting a little bit more for playing time. They're used to the rigors of the travel and those type of things that you have on the college level. There's the same adjustment, I think, with them as there is with a high school kid in terms of a new system, a new coach. You know, blending in with the other players and those type of things. But, you know, where they have an advantage experience-wise, they still have some adjustments like the high school kids do.
One of the most impressive things about this year's team is the depth. The Braves have started 9 different players in different games this year. And they've done a really good job of dealing with some minor injuries that have sort of popped up over the course of the season. The depth has really helped there. What does that say about this group's toughness?
Well, going into the season, we had a 14-player roster, and we're a 13-player roster now with the loss of Stephanie Johnson to a knee injury early in the season. But I told them that all 14 can help us win games, and I think you've seen that different people come on and being able to step in there when their opportunity presented itself and give us some positive minutes. it's that's one thing I think too about as we bring in 4 junior college kids, those kids have enough experience on the college level that they can come in and contribute. So I think we've weathered the storm with some injuries and where sometimes we had a couple starters out and being able to bring people off the bench that have been able to make a positive contribution.
Let's take a look now at the rest of the schedule. UNCP takes on Flagler today before Francis Marion comes in for the season finale on Wednesday. We'll start with Flagler. UNCP earned a thrilling come-from-behind win against the Saints in Pembroke a few weeks ago. What's it going to take to earn the season sweep against Flagler? Well,
playing better than we did here against them. That was one of the most unbelievable comebacks I've ever seen. I think we were down 13 with 3 minutes left, and everything went right for us and everything went wrong for them. We're going to have to play better. They're a tough team. They put 4 perimeter players out there that can shoot it and drive it, space the floor well, and then they've got a big kid inside that can score, averaging about 11.5 points and about 10 11 rebounds. So they're a tough team to defend. I think we need to try to disrupt them some, maybe change the pace a little bit, and then we need to play better offensively. We need to score on a consistent basis, which we didn't do in the game here at Pembroke. We just had that 15-point spurt in the last 3 minutes that saved the day for us.
We need to take our first time out, but we'll be back with more UNCP women's basketball coverage right after this. Back here on the UNCP Sports Black and Gold Report with women's basketball head coach John Haskins. Coach, your team will have one more home game Wednesday, February 22nd, as UNCP hosts rival Francis Marion. Your team has already been historically good at home this year, winning 11 in a row. How important is this last one for fans to come out and create a home court advantage? Well,
we'd love to see a big crowd there, and I think that's been important in our success at home is having nice home crowds, and really done a good job of supporting us. We just play with confidence at home. It seems like, I think college basketball is a unique sport where, boy, it's just hard to play on the road, and we've had some struggles on the road, but have been really good at home and pulled out a couple of games that maybe we shouldn't have, and besides the Wingate game, have been very successful at home.
This game on the 22nd will also be Senior Day, a very important 5-person senior class for your team. Let's start in the in the backcourt with Erica Williams and Jasmine Huntley. What have they meant to the team?
Just very good guards, great kids. Both of them play very hard. Handling the ball, decision making. We've put a lot on their shoulders, and they've been very good players for us. Erica didn't play much as a freshman. Really came in prior to her sophomore year with kind of a renewed attitude, and has been just a great teammate and great contributor for us ever since. She just plays so hard, and then I don't think there's anybody in the Peach Belt that gets it up the floor much faster than Jasmine Huntley, and she really pushes the ball in transition, attacks the basket. So we're going to miss both what they do on the basketball floor, but the intangibles they bring to our program also.
The rest of your senior class, Phoenicia Lawson, LaShonda Pritchard, and Janisa Monley, talk about what their legacy will be for UNCP.
Well, first of all, LaShonda, a junior college kid we brought out of junior college, North Carolina kid, but we brought her out of junior college in Florida, was learning last year, played quite a bit for us last year, was in the starting lineup, and was set back by the turned ankle in the Columbus game, where she missed probably 5 or 6 games, and is still getting back, and I think she's just getting back to where she can be, but just an athletic kid, plays very hard, really competes, love the game of basketball, is in the gym all the time, working on her game. Really going to miss her and her work ethic that she's brought to the team. Phoenicia Lawson has done a really good job, great kid. Has been able to rebound, defend the post well for us, and then obviously with Janisa and the scoring she's given us the last couple of years in the post. Struggled as a freshman and sophomore, but really came on last year in terms of being an all-conference player, and is kind of who we go to in the post this year, and has had a very good year also this year. So going to miss those 5 kids, not just again what they give us on the court, but a great group of young ladies, and we're really going to miss them.
With a team that featured so many newcomers, as well as obviously the returning players, you have this senior class. How important have they been in continuing the culture for UNCP basketball?
Well, they've done a great job. I think they've done a great job in terms of the work ethic and playing together. The one thing I've always felt like is our kids played hard, and they played very unselfish, and that's kind of what we want to do, you know, and that's the start. Are we really competing, and are we playing together? And I think those kids have continued to do that throughout their career.
We're talking about that game on the 22nd. Of course, the season doesn't end on Wednesday the 22nd, or at least you hope not. What's the outlook for the Peach Belt Conference Tournament in the postseason?
Well, there's a lot of scenarios that are up in front of us here as we wrap up the season. We just need to take care of business. We need to play well and take care of our business. You know, again, I can't go through all the scenarios, but our goal is, I think it'll be very difficult to finish first on our side because of Lander and the success they've had, and I think they've got a couple game lead on us. So, you know, trying to get that second seed, trying to get a home game, the first round of the conference tournament would be big, and then moving on to a neutral site, which would probably be Lander unless they tripped up the first round of the conference tournament. So that's what our goal is. You know, we just try to finish in second, get that home game, and then move on from there in the conference tournament. We're still in the picture for the regionals, I believe. You know, if we finish really strong, we've still got a chance to make the NCAA tournament, which is the ultimate goal of our program, is we want to make the NCAA tournament. So that's what we're looking at doing, and hopefully we'll play well and be able to do that.
Coach John Haskins, thanks for joining us today.
Sure. Thank you, Cam.
Stay tuned to the Black and Gold Report. We'll be right back.